Hi again, everybody. This video is sponsored by contribution from Anonymous, and here's her story. Hi, Ollie. Please keep me anonymous. Hope your throat is beginning to feel better. I have a work-related story to share with you and your subscribers regarding triangulation and gaslighting. While on business travel this past week, an incident occurred that really put me in a foul mood. The trip was a week-long company event that I had to attend along with my boss. The first night I was there, I had dinner with my boss. He dropped a bombshell on me that basically soured my mood for the entire week. I am a proposal coordinator and a writer by profession. My job is to compile and write persuasive sales documents that the sales documents use to sell companies, products, and prospects and clients. Earlier that day, he was in a meeting with his boss and a salesperson that I support. I was not invited to nor present for this meeting. In the meeting, the salesperson told my boss in front of other people that I apparently keep her on conference calls too long and my emails are too long. She basically said I don't get to the point fast enough and that she is very busy and doesn't have time for my long-windedness. At one point, my boss mentioned that I allegedly kept her on a call for 4 hours. That's when I knew that she was gaslighting me, because I know that never happened. I worked on several projects for her this year, and at no point has she expressed any dissatisfaction with my performance relative to how I support her. In fact, I have been thanked by her on calls and in emails for the work I have done for her. Before I go any further, I do want to mention she is not the first person to go to my boss with this particular issue. The subject of my long-windedness gets mentioned every year at my review. I have been working for my current employer and my boss for the past 10 years. All he ever says to me is I need to work on this, and then we move on to other topics. I am not denying that I am long-winded at times. As a writer, I am used to thinking and writing in detail. Short answers, bullet point responses are not easy or natural for me. Regarding my supposed long-windedness, I do find it interesting that I am never provided with specific examples. All I get are broad statements and no specific guidance on what I need to improve. What I find even more interesting is that apparently it is unacceptable to be long-winded, but it's acceptable for her to throw me under the bus in a public meeting where I am not present and not able to defend myself. Apparently it's okay to triangulate me and spread lies, but heaven forbid, take too long to get to the point. Obvious sarcasm. So tell me, Ollie, is it worse to be long-winded or is it worse to be triangulated and gaslighted? I already know the answer. But I ask it in order to make a point. My long-windedness isn't abusive or intended to cause anyone harm. What she did in the meeting by airing a grievance about me and not allowing me to defend myself is abusive. There was no reason for her to do what she did, the way she did it, other than to cause me harm. If the issue was really about my long-windedness, she absolutely could have spoken to me privately. In my opinion, that is what she should have done. I spend enough time as it is trying to stay under the radar and avoid conflict with my boss. I don't need this bitch trying to make trouble for me. By the way, my boss is a narcissist, as I've written in other past stories. I do have a knack for attracting people like this. I find it funny that I am chastised for being long-winded, and yet every day on our daily proposal status calls, he spends more time talking to anyone else on the call, myself included. But I digress. I know he is a narcissist because he simply took her statements at face value and didn't challenge her statements and didn't bother to ask her to provide any details to substantiate her story. He also didn't question her as to why she didn't talk to me directly about her issue and why she just chose to go over my head and escape publicly and escalate publicly. I know I certainly would have asked her that question. I was so upset by what he told me on Monday night that for the remainder of the week I only participated in required events and avoided most of the social events as I was in no mood to socialize. I am sure I will hear about that at some point. I don't know. I know it doesn't help my career when I avoid schmoozing. I felt I kept to myself. I keep to myself, and avoiding the social events was better than saying something that would have definitely gotten me fired. On the flight home, I started reflecting over the events of the past week. It was then that I thought about the videos you have done that are titled Narcissist Accusations Reveal the Truth About Themselves, and people who believe the narcissist's lives are doing you a favor. That was when I realized that what happened was really a blessing in disguise. I now know who this bitch is, and I know how to deal with her going forward. There is value in knowing what people are really about. Before this happened, I thought she was pretty nice, but not anymore. From now on, I will limit my engagement and stay very brief and on point on calls. No more pleasantries or going above and beyond for her. Here's the proof of how stupid she really is. My job is to support the sales team and help them win more business. The result is more commissions for them. My pay is the same whether they win or lose a deal. As a salesperson who has a quota and is compensated based on how much they sell, why would you deliberately piss the person off who supports you? It makes no sense. Then again, nothing a narcissist does makes any sense. I started watching your channel 18 months ago. Since then, I have learned so much about the narcissists and their tactics. The information I have learned from watching your channel and others has helped me enormously in trying to figure out what the nonsense of the narcissist is really about. At the beginning of last week, I really felt like shit. But after reflecting over the next few days, I did realize what happened is more of a reflection of the narcissist and really has very little to do with me. I may be long-winded, but I am not. But at least I'm not a soulless, emotionally draining asshole with the mentality of a child. I can never thank you and your subscribers enough for helping me put it all in perspective. I am human, therefore I am flawed. But I now know I am not the problem. I don't go around hurting people because I can. That's what the narcissist does. Thanks for reading my story. I look forward to your comments. Well, I can tell you exactly why, based on the way your business operates. They didn't say anything about your proposed plans. You notice. They didn't say your plans were wrong or your sales. It's all about presentation. I know a lot of you aren't going to like this, but that's the same argument they make about Donald Trump. They don't argue his points, they argue how he says it. And that's always an indication of somebody who's covering up for a performance of their own. See, all this triangulation about you being long-winded, and, to be honest, long-windedness can be very, very frustrating because a lot of people do it, okay, just as an attention ploy, to constantly just be talking in the center of attention. I'm not saying that's why you do it, but it can be something that does get under people's skin, and I think you understand that. But if your long-windedness is the worst they can put on your review and nothing about negative about your actual job performance and what you're writing, then, like I told you, it's telling you about you. It's telling you what they think about themselves. Because what's this really about? Your job is to help them sell. So if they can't attack the sales plan, they have to attack you personally. Understand? And that's what's going on here. So thank you again for your contribution, and thank you for your story. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comments section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, or a narcissist you'd like to expose, you know what to do with the PayPal and the email links in the description box. I'll have the video right back to you. This is Ollie Matthews. Thanks for watching. See you all again soon.